Trying this again. I tried recording this earlier and it didn't really work because I don't make videos. I'm not a videographer. Um, I make trash art, uh, which is trash made out of, or art made out of trash. Um, I use like cap lids, like bottle lids and whatnot, ashes, because yes, I smoke and please don't lecture. I already know that it's not really good for me. But I use like dry tea, coffee grounds, cardboard, cardstock, bits of plastic, whatever kind of like fabric that I can find that would be nice. These are a couple of the things that I've made. You can check out my Facebook. I'll link that. My camera doesn't want to focus on it real well, but that's like all right. Little mushroom octopus. It's Amanita, little poison. He's kind of cute. The uh, flower pot is a medicine lid and then a cap from a drink bottle. The dirt is a mix of coffee grounds and dried tea mixed with paint. And it's pretty sturdy. You can hear that it's works pretty well. Um, this is another one. It's a yellow stainer mushroom mixed with a blue ringed octopus. Again, not the greatest video because my camera is kind of janky, but you'll have that. Made the same way. Uh, this one is was inspired by another artist on YouTube called Clayfect. She makes really awesome stuff. I absolutely adore her. It's a weedling, basically a little dandelion goose, which is just, you have to watch her video on it. It's very funny. I'll link that too. Uh, then my man-eating plant, because I love Little Shop of Horrors, so of course I had to make one of those for myself. But these are like my little, my weird little garden creatures, my little weird desktop garden that I always have like right here. Um, my workstation's kind of cluttered because that's just how I am. There's another thing that I made. This is a spun cotton, which is basically cotton soaked in glue, which is like an awesome way of doing things. The grass is twine that I cut up real small and then painted. But yeah, this is a medicine bottle lid that I used as the base. But he's a Fresno nightcrawler because I'm really into cryptids. I like cryptids a lot. But yeah, I was asked how I make these things, so I'm going to try and make like a little video uh, tutorial, I guess. I've never done this. I don't make videos. I have no idea what I'm doing. My camera's not the best. I'm kind of nervous. Um, but, I mean, here we go. So, I plan on making a ink cap mushroom octopus. So I've started by making the flower pot that it's going to sit in. Again, it's small, sorry about that, small bottle caps that have ridges. This one I glued a strip of paper towel around to give it a different kind of texture. Once it's painted, you'll be able to see the texture a little better. You can kind of see it in the video. Um, the base has a mix of ash and PVA glue, which some sort of chemical reaction happens when you do this, and it makes it into a really weird, goopy kind of material. It's already partially dried. It's wet on the surface. I don't know what the chemical reaction is, but it makes it very like sturdy once it's dried. Uh, so it also adds a little bit of weight to it, so it doesn't flip over as easily. Sometimes if it's a big thing like the Amanita over here, there's pennies that I put in the bottom. Probably not the safest thing because the U.S. government money issues. Uh, they don't like you messing with pennies, but it's like no one uses pennies anymore, so it's like whatever. Um, anyhow, this one's going to be small like the yellow stainer, so he doesn't need as much weight on him. But when this is dry, I'll glue these two together, and it'll make a little two-tier thing. I'll probably put maybe some around the edge where these two join up, maybe some embroidery thread, and then solidify that with some nail polish to give a different like design. And then I'll come back and show how I make the octopus base, so you can see how I put the stem and the like the stem and the legs together with the wiring. I'll come back when I do that. Okay, so this is this is going to be the mushroom cap. It's part of a, you know, when you take the when you get a new box of tissues, you take off the piece of cardboard. I save that cardboard because it's nice, like cardstock. It's thin, but it's sturdy when you put it together. Like I'm squeezing it right now, it doesn't really deform much. Held together in a slight dome shape. Now, ink caps, they're pretty high, so I'm gonna have to build this up a fair amount, which is all right. But that's gonna be the thing, the cap. This piece, another piece of the cardboard, rolled up into a tube. That's going to be the stem. Glued a toothpick, or part of a toothpick, into it. And this is the ash and paint mixture that I use for a foundational base for everything. I will be right back and show you what I do with this. Okay, and that amount of the paint basically covered the inside of the dome. This will be the base for the underside of the cap, and I'll just set that aside to dry, and I'll come back when I'm ready for the next step. Alright, so the next day, the paint and ash mix has dried. I put some striations in it to be the gills for the underside of the mushroom cap. This is going to take like probably almost a week to do the entire project because it takes time for things to dry in between. I will start building up the top of the cap now. I'll show that in progress and then show that finished. This is the base, or the stem. The toothpick gets stabbed into the base, and then I can build things up around it. But it's got wires for all the legs. Like I said, this is a rolled up thing of cardboard. So it'll be easy to glue everything together and like cover with some more of the ash and paint mix. I can bend the wire to be whatever I want. But it's going to take a while because this takes a bit to build up and a bit to dry and whatnot. It'd be a lot easier if I had a tripod, but I don't have a tripod. I'm not organized like that, and I don't have the excess money to buy a tripod, even though those are very cheap. I don't know. Maybe I'll thrift one. Maybe I'll like find one and redo this entire video eventually. I don't know. Anyhow, I will start building up the cap, and then come back and show you what that's like. Okay, real quick, this is the base. Can't really see it very well. It's being glued together. Those are some little nubbins that I had left over. These little things from the ash and paint mix. If I have any extras, I usually like dollop them out and make them into little filler pieces. So since this cap needs to be taller and skinnier, I just glued a bunch of those together, and I think there's 4 here. There's a big one, a long one, and then 2 smaller ones that I glued together to get the height that I need. So, and I'll come back when everything's like covered. Okay, so it's a couple days later. It takes a while for things to dry, but I've glued the 2 caps together and put some embroidery thread around the join. Used a little bit of nail polish to basically meld them together. It'll look better when it's painted, but you get the idea. The stem is glued in with some more of the paint and ash mix. It still needs a little bit longer to dry, but the wires are ready to be positioned, and then this will be covered in paint and ash to build up the shape, because it's not supposed to be like a tube. It's supposed to be more gradual towards the bottom. The cap has been covered. The little lumps that were inside are now covered with more of the paint and ash mix. That dried off some, and then I put a layer of glue probably put another couple layers of glue on this just to smooth it out a little bit more. But I like the shape. Shape's pretty. Like I said, I like the shape of this. I like to paint them, the caps and the stems and bases separate because it's easier to get all the details, like the underside of the cap and the faces and whatnot on the stem, and then I'll just glue them together. I'll just glue them together later. But yeah, so for right now, that's about it. I'll come back when I'm done prepping everything. Basically, I'll show you what it looks like before painting, and then we'll get to the painting that I do. Okay. Okay, so it's a couple days later. Again, this takes a long time to do all the drying and whatnot. But this is the cap so far. It's supposed to be like a shaggy ink cap mushroom. So these little white things are the shaggy bits. Painting is going to make it look a lot better, trust me. But that'll come next step. Right now, this is dry now. Sorry about that. This is dry, so the next step will be painting. The base. Sorry, I keep saying I'm not made for this. God. Anyways, the base has been built up. He looks a lot more like a little octopus now. Arms have been placed and moved around. The ash and paint mix has been applied to him, and then he's been covered in a layer of glue to add strength and to hold everything together. The eyeballs are actually little bits of, like little droppings from a hot glue gun. So like if you use a hot glue gun and you get those little drips, keep those because those come in real handy, and I'll have more of those later as I'm adding the drippy bits to the cap. So that's him. And like I said, painting is next, and we'll come back to that later. Okay, it's a couple days later, and he's all painted and put together. The little drips are actually the dregs from my hot glue gun, like I said before. I used a little bit of clear nail polish to make him shiny in that spot. But yeah, he's got little red eyes. Whoop. You can see just dropping him, he's fine. The little the pot, duh. I made it more of a teal color. It was originally a dark blue, but I like the teal color better. But yeah, he's supposed to be a Shaggy Ink Cap. Highly stylized, apparently, obviously. Because, yeah, they're kind of difficult to make the way I make them anyways. But yeah, he's all finished, and his new place is right here on my desk. So he'll join the other ones. And thank you for watching. I know it's extremely rough. I'm not made for making videos. My camera is all old and glitchy and probably would have worked better if I had a tripod, but I'm not even sure if this is going to be a decent video or not. But I was asked to show how I make my little trash sculptures, and that's kind of how I do it. I hope you at least enjoyed watching. Hopefully maybe some people have learned some things and tips and techniques to make their own stuff. And thank you for watching.